AEW fans, welcome to Fabulous Wrestling Talk AEW. We are talking all about WrestleDream, the amazing pay-per-view that happened over the weekend, and there are no two people other than that guy and this guy that know more about WrestleDream, and you're about to find out. He, of course, is my tag team partner, Clay Harden. I'm Jeremy York. Uh, how are you?
I'm that guy that knows it's going to be 80 degrees next week, but it was 31 at my house this morning, and it only got up to 64 today. And I refuse to turn my heat on until winter actually sets in. So it's like 61 degrees in my house. My kids are running around here in flannel pants and hoodies with the hoods up, which is not uncommon for kids these days, but they're actually wearing it for a reason now.
Yeah. I was about to say I'm part of the hoodie generation that I'll wear a hoodie year round just for the sake of I like wearing hoodies. But here lately, it's been a pretty good reason to have one on. And I won't lie, when I came into this room to start recording earlier, I had to take my hoodie off for the sake of recording, and I did turn the heat on a little bit.
Yeah, I still don't have the heat on. I just told them to suck it up for a couple more days. It's going to be back in the 80s next week.
It
You'll
is.
be glad the air's still on. Just throw an extra blanket on the bed, sleep in your hoodie. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Plus, congratulations to that one kid of yours for his recent accomplishment, and that should free up some room in your house soon.
Oh, you talking about tricking a chicken to marry him?
Yeah. Hey, it's one of the biggest tricks we can ever pull off.
It is, and he got a good one, and we're happy to be welcoming her to the family. She's smart, and she's very well educated, and will do great things in life. I have no doubt.
Absolutely. I seem to get that vibe off of her. Now, I do have a bone to pick with him that I will pick next time I am at your house. I thought we were friends like that. I got no heads up as to when this was happening, and I don't understand. I thought we were buds.
Well, I didn't. If it makes you feel better, I didn't have any idea either. They just showed up one day and like, oh, by the way, and showed me a ring. I was like, all right, where'd you buy that at? So Mason gave it to me. And I was like, huh, okay. Well,
Cool.
congratulations.
Yeah.
When's the wedding? She said November. I said, like in next month. And she said, no, November 25. I said, can't we do it next month? But turns out they want to wait a year. So whatever.
Usually a good choice. You need time to iron all that out.
Yep. I'm ready
But
to move kids around and free up my basement again. So
I hear you. I hear you. We'll have to get that going soon. Um, you just talked about it heating up next week. Well, something that was red hot this weekend was WrestleDream. They had 7 or 8 solid matches, which I'm good with 7 or 8. I think WWE with their 5 each time is on to something, but they need a little bit more than that. I think 7 or 8 is a good number, not 14 that Tony Khan normally trots out.
7 is the perfect number. No more than 8. 4 to 5
Yeah.
is not enough. Anything more 9 or more is too many.
Yeah.
7, 8 good ones is perfect.
Because looking at the times of a lot of these matches, they were almost exactly where they should be. I mean, it started off with Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. This looked like it could have stole the entire show. This is by far the match that should have started the show, and I actually enjoyed the fact I don't have anything against Hangman. I think he's still one of those great people they can rely on for solid, performances and matches. He can be world champ again down the road. Jay White needs to be back in the title picture, and he looked great against Adam Page.
Well, here's the thing. Jay White's in his late 30s now,
I think so.
pushing 40. Hangman's only like 28. He's really not even hit his prime yet.
I thought he was 30.
So if he
Well,
is,
no,
he's just turned 30.
Jay White, as of October the 9th, was 32 years old.
Okay, so they're both still right there in their prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got plenty of time to get Hangman back into the title picture. But yeah, Jay White, I agree, needs a push, and I wish they would get him away from the ass
Bang Bang
boys.
Gang.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, him and Juice are kind of cool, but Juice and Billy Gunn's kids are a good trio. You don't need Jay
right.
White.
So to me, Jay is more mellow and laid back, and just like does most of his talking in the ring. Juice
Yeah.
Robinson's too much. Like he's way over the top, and
Yeah.
so are the Guns. So they're perfect together. Split them
Oh yeah,
up. Let them guys be a trio. Put Jay White out on his own, and let him put him in a title. It ain't got to be the world title. Put him in the TNT title hunt.
exactly. Or international or whatever in the world they call all these things now.
Yeah, international and continental, and intercontinental and international and
Yep.
national and U.S. title, and I mean, there's so many. It's just not even. Then we got. Don't even forget the Ring of Honor titles. Like we need to retire all those anyway.
Yeah, I think that's coming. Congrats to Brian Cage for being the new television champion. He beat Atlantis Jr. Um, did find out Hangman Adam Page, as of late July, is 33 years old. So he's actually the elder
Okay.
statesman of those
So
two.
they're both in their prime right now.
Yeah, perfect time to have them beat each other up
Yep. But
because
plenty
they,
of time because a wrestler, their prime as far as their body and endurance and everything is in maturity
yeah,
is everything I've ever read 38 to 42.
yeah, I would say 35 to 40, but yeah, right in that little zone.
That's your peak male performance, right in there. But sometimes a wrestler's body can take a beating and it don't make it that far. But both those guys have stayed fairly healthy
Yeah,
and maybe we'll get a Hangman title run down the road. But it is time to see Jay White. I want to see him with a belt at some point, and the singles
I
belt,
agree.
not a trios or a tag belt.
Exactly. I agree. And, unlike a lot of those wrestlers, me and you have been able to hang on to our prime for a lot longer. So, maybe they should take some notes from us.
I'm not even in my prime yet. I'm still getting there.
I hear you. I hope I am. We'll find out shortly. But Jay White gets the win there. Like I said, I like that because that way it's not Hangman versus everybody. He's just out. He's the out. You think Jack Perry's a scapegoat? Adam Page is out on up the creek not only without a paddle, he ain't got a boat. He's just kind of out there doing his own thing.
They got him trying to piss everybody off, and I don't know, it's just
He's
kind
doing a
of
good
old.
job.
Yeah, he is. Like even the Young Bucks don't even like him anymore. So
I know.
I don't know. Maybe they'll find something. When him and Omega were a tag team, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
When he was in the world title hunt, that was pretty cool. Um, maybe this Young Buck face turn that's coming,
yeah,
and it's coming.
yeah.
Maybe
Sooner rather than
he'll.
later.
Well, not to try to jump ahead, but they're about to do this whole NWO
Invasion.
versus WCW thing, and Moxley's
Yeah.
group is the NWO, and they kind of teased it a little bit Wednesday night, where the Young
Hmm.
Bucks were caught between helping the conglomerate or staying heels and just leaving them out to the wolves, and
Yeah.
you kind of see them being torn with what to do. They don't know whether to help or to leave them hanging. And then Jack Perry, he's one that kind of talks them into just leaving them hanging. But they're teasing a face turn there, and it's going to be Team AEW versus Moxley's faction, whatever it's called. But that's coming.
Well, if that happens, you have to leave Jack Perry as the scapegoat and as the fall guy, so to say, and as a heel, I believe. So if everybody around him turns face, maybe Hangman sneaks in and takes his spot with that group.
I can see Jack Perry, like the Young Bucks, coming out to help somebody like Orange Cassidy, and Jack Perry getting pissed off about it, and ended up joining Moxley's group.
Yeah, that's the easiest jumper in the whole group, I think.
Yeah,
But
because everybody
next
wants the
matchup,
Bucks to be faces.
no, no, it's time for them to drop the titles and to go back face and do that kind of run.
I was gonna say everybody wants to see him be a face. Everybody wants to cheer for him.
Yeah. Next match was Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale, and I think any other time in their tenure in the company, and Willow probably wins that, but she has cooled off as far as the way they book her here lately. So, in no way did I ever think she was going to win this match, and Mariah May basically cleaned the floor with her.
Mariah May is white hot right now.
Absolutely.
And even though she's a heel, she's over with the crowd. Everybody loves her, and she's actually putting in good work in the ring too.
She took over Tony Storm's spot.
Tony kind of gave it to her. I think Tony
Yeah.
kind of wanted to elevate her up to that spot. And
Yeah.
who knows? 3 4 months from now, that may make another great match. Them two, maybe at All In that they're doing in Texas next March or whenever it's going to be,
Yeah.
August, whatever. Maybe that's the big women's match.
Yeah. But Mariah retains her belt in that one as expected. Jack Perry retained his belt against Katsuri Shibata, but Jack Perry's still paying his dues to be able to elevate to the next level, and Shibata kicked the holy crap out of him this entire match.
Punished him for about 25 minutes,
Yep.
and, but that I like to see matches like that. Shibata's been that 25-minute beatdown match is what he was known for over in Japan.
Yep.
So he kind of brought, like, bring that style over here, and let's let you throw Jack Perry around for 25 minutes. You're gonna lose
Yep.
the match, but kick the crap out of him. In the
Yeah.
meantime.
Well, as Brian Cage says, get your stuff in. So get all your kicks, get all your moves, get all your strikes in, and then just know that you're doing the job at the end.
Yep. Which is, that's what Shibata's done since he's gotten there.
Yep. Speaking of somebody that's white hot, we have a new international champion as Konosuke Takeshita with Don Callis. I really thought he was splitting from him, but with Don Callis, uh, I'm not going to say defeats. I'm going to say wins the match over Will Ospreay and Ricochet because it was a very circumstance based finish, but it really kind of interrupted an Ospreay versus Ricochet match.
It did, which we may get it later, but I think Ricochet being in that match kind of killed the storyline of Fletcher turning on
Yeah,
Osprey, which I nailed, by the way. I knew that was
yeah,
coming. Used the screwdriver and then he hit the Tiger Driver 92 or whatever he calls it,
97, 99. It's a 90 something.
whatever. Yeah. Anyway, hit that on him, and Kaneshita gets the win. But I do like him as a champ. Like, he needs to have a
Yeah.
belt of some sort.
Yeah, just like Jay White, I think they both need belts like that. And
Kaneshita.
so,
I was trying to mix his first name in. I was trying to combine his two Latin names. Uh,
oh,
Takeshita.
it takes me a second, especially if I'm looking at his name from saying how phonetically it is spelled that that's probably how my dad would pronounce it. And I'm trying to be nice to the guy.
Well, it's like Nakamura, Shinsuke. It's not, if you in the English language, it's not pronounced Shinsuke. It's Shinsuke,
Or Shinzuke or something.
Shinsuke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
Takeshita's name.
I listen to enough announcers that are way better than me at it and how they say. I
Yeah.
do the same thing with Atlanta United when Jason Longshore and Mike Conti, who are friends of mine, do the radio call for United. However they pronounce the guy's name is 1,000% how I will say it till the end of the earth.
Well, as a broadcaster, I will go. Usually when the kickers and the punters come out way before the game to warm up, I will go
Yeah.
find me a coach that probably don't wear a headset. I'll take a roster, and we'll go down and we'll make
Yep.
notes. How do you say this kid's name? And then I will
Yep.
spell it like it's pronounced.
Yep. Yep.
So, because when mamas and daddies are listening on the radio and you get their kid's name wrong, they call into the post game show and don't like it. So,
Yeah.
I don't have to do it with
I
our
have.
local teams. It's usually the visiting team coming in. I'll go find me a young coach that don't know, that probably is a get back coach or something, and we'll go over kids' names
Yep.
pronunciation.
Yep. I have done that many a times too, and I have been yelled at for saying people's names wrong. So I definitely know that feeling.
Yeah, don't ever want to get anybody's name wrong.
No, too many mamas get really upset.
Yep, that they do. Grandmamas too. Well, when a
Yeah,
grandmama calls into the post game show because you got her grandbaby's name wrong, that is not pretty.
yeah, yeah. I've been around when that happened. Luckily, it wasn't me that did it, but it got bad.
Eric Adams, he got everybody's name wrong last year.
it's kind of his stick, but he does it so unintentionally a lot of times that you're just like, I don't know what to do to fix it.
And if you're watching, Eric, love you, really do. You did a great job. You
Absolutely.
just
One of my favorite people,
couldn't
really.
get couldn't get anybody's name right.
Like I said, it ends up being almost a gimmick, but I know he's not doing it on purpose because I have been there beside him and I don't know. It's just like he's not supposed to get it right or something.
Yes, I agree. It's just that's his thing. But God love him.
Like I said, still one of my favorite people. So I love you, Eric. Be seeing you next weekend. Uh, people that we might see next weekend because I don't. This was the most random thing ever. A 2 out of 3 falls match, Hologram and the Beast Mortos. First off, I didn't know they had that kind of beef between them, but this was a really good match. But we knew good and well they were going to split the first two, and then Hologram probably gets the end to stay undefeated.
I, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how Mortos wrestles in that complete bison headgear.
Well, and
I
he
don't know how you
changed it
see.
because he used to be the Great Taru or something Taru, the Beast Tar, and he changed it to that and changed his headdress around a little bit. But yeah, I don't know how. It looks like he's wearing like a quilt trunk or something on his head.
Yeah, it looks like an Indian, like when they took a buffalo skull and made
Yeah.
them a headgear. That's what it looks like with the mat. Like I, I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how the guys wrestle in a mask, much less that contraption with
I
horns. The
told
horns stick out
yeah,
to here.
yeah. Oh, I told you last Halloween, I wore that all day, all but about 15 minutes because I just couldn't finish eating lunch because of the way it was pulling on my face. But whole new respect
I
for
bet
people that
not.
do anything in a mask.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's time for Excalibur to lose the mask at the announce desk too. He looks ridiculous in a suit and that mask on.
He does. I mean, it's a if that's his stick, his gimmick, then it's an awful one. You got to change that.
Yes, for real. I've seen what he looks like without it. Like it's, he's not hiding anything. It's not a mystery.
Have some sort of since they're doing these dumb WCW like stipulations, why don't they do one where uh him and somebody else back people, and when his guy loses, he loses his mask.
Yeah, or let him and the British guy is his announce partner
Nigel,
Nigel. Let them have some kind of you know
beef between them.
side bet or something and lose the mask. I don't know, but um, yeah, I mean it was about what you would expect from a luchador match.
Yeah. Now I'll give it to Hologram. The crucifix bomb he did off the top was one of the most beautiful crucifix bombs I've ever seen, and Mortos took it like a champ. But I went back and watched the replay about 3 or 4 times of just that spot.
Yeah, I mean they're both great acrobatic
Yeah.
luchadors, so nothing surprising there.
Up next, the match that I thought would steal the card, and I think if Jay White, Adam Page wouldn't have been so good, it probably would have been maybe the number 2 match. Darby Allin and Brody King. I like that Darby got the win because he still has more clout and he's still higher up, but I think he did reach down and help his buddy Brody up a level and show everybody, no, this can be a main event guy. He's just in a group full of them.
Yep, and after the match, I wish they would have stuck with kayfabe and Brody like squashed him after it and went back to the House of Black, but instead
Yeah.
they shook hands and hugged it out, and Brody raised his hand up and like you can't have him go back to being a brutal, killer in House of Black now because he kissed Darby's ass pretty much after the match.
And maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe he's spawning off, or maybe the House of Black, because there's talks that Malachi is getting a lot of interest from WWE. So if his contract's coming up again and he's already going to jump, then maybe Buddy goes and does his own thing, and maybe Brody does his own thing, and we don't get House of Black anymore, which would be a crying shame.
It would. I don't know why. I mean, I know why Vince ran Malachi off, and now Triple H wants to bring him back. So what's going on with all these guys?
Yep.
Um, but I don't feel like they've used Malachi
No.
to his full potential.
Oh, because he's a killer.
Yes, he is. He is one of the best wrestlers in the company, and they've kept him in a trio and tag matches. He's not done any singles matches. He hasn't been on any title
I mean,
runs.
actually, him and Buddy, Brody would have been until now. He's gotten soft now because of that little moment. He's, a teddy bear. But if they want something to do with Malachi and or Buddy Matthews, joining Moxley's crew fits their bill really well.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Buddy join it. And if Malachi is going to stay, he needs to do his own thing. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? But we know his better half is still in WWE, so maybe he swaps over and hangs out with her again.
Yeah, he's married to
Zelina Vega.
Vega. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. What an odd mix, but I bet they're fun to hang out with.
Oh, for sure.
But I think we got about 10 minutes left, which is just enough to talk about the last three match. The Young Bucks defeat Private Party, as we absolutely expected. Private Party put on a good show, but they're not on the Young Bucks level. I think they're just kind of biding time until the Bucks are going to drop it to either Moxley's group or, whatever the next hottest tag team is.
I don't know why. We know FTR is on the end of their run.
Yep.
I don't know why you wouldn't like. I would like to see a year-long program with FTR and Young Bucks swapping the belts back and forth. Because
Yeah.
every time they get in the ring together, it's 5-star matches.
Yeah.
And I don't know if one of them's hurt because I hadn't seen FTR in a while.
Maybe. Because it's kind of spot duty. They'll show up here or there, but they don't do
Right,
much.
right. So I'm saying one of them may be hurt. But I don't know. Right now, that's really the only tag team in the company that's on their level is
Yeah.
FTR.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't make an argument for anybody else.
I mean, I could. I think they need to get rid of Brian Keith and put Big Bill and Jericho together as a tag team and get rid of that stupid, hi everybody stick.
It's
And
so great though.
I know, but let Big Bill be the badass that he is, and let him and Jericho win the tag team titles.
Maybe Bill joins Moxley.
He'd be a handful. Speaking of Big Bill, his former partner is about to make his comeback too.
Is he
Yep, you'll be
in
seeing no.
in this place or the other place?
No, he's under contract with AEW for 2 or 3 more years.
No, no, no. I mean his partner.
I'm talking about Ricky Starks.
Oh, I thought you meant
Remember that Enzo.
yeah, yeah. That's who I was thinking.
Anything else? I would hire Enzo to be somebody's manager and just give him a microphone and let him talk the whole time the match is going on at ringside.
Oh yeah, just nonstop. Just I don't even need
Yep.
announcers. You know, everybody go chill out.
But Enzo's biggest problem is
Enzo,
Enzo. Yeah,
he
that's his
can't get
biggest
out of his
problem.
own way.
That's why nobody will hire him. He is so gifted in the ring, and he may be the funniest guy ever on the mic, ever. Like in the
But he
history of
has
the business.
issues outside.
He cannot. He is his own worst enemy. Poor guy.
Yeah, everywhere he goes. I mean, MLW, WWE, anywhere I've ever seen him go, he wears out his welcome so fast because of
Quick.
dumb things he does.
Yep. Or dumb things he says, or dumb stuff he does backstage, or whatever.
Yep.
But I think the Young Bucks are on a whole nother level, and the only current team that can hang with them is FTR.
Yeah, I agree with that. Up next, thank goodness Mark Briscoe retained his belt against Chris Jericho. I was going to have a giant problem if the Ring of Honor World Champion was Chris Jericho. At this point, like, you want to do Big Bill, that's fine, but Briscoe retained. This was a pretty solid match between the two of them. At times, it felt like Briscoe drugged Jericho through it, which kind of lines up.
Yeah, but Jericho is one of the all-time greats, and
Absolutely.
if you put the Ring of Honor title on him, that's kind of like a demotion.
Yeah.
So I like Jericho putting guys over. Mark Briscoe didn't need putting over.
No.
Maybe let him, and that's what Jericho. That's his goal now is to put people over. That's what he wants
Yeah.
to do.
He's been doing that the
And
last 3 years or so, 3 or 4.
yes, so that's what he said his last 3 or 4 years, whatever he's got left in the business, is he wants to spend it making people look good. And I just thought they could have found a better spot for him than Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe didn't need anybody. He's a veteran. Don't need anybody making him look good.
Absolutely. But that moves us to the main event with about 4 minutes to go. Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship. I could have made an argument that I thought that Danielson was going to retain, but recent reports of how banged up he really is, I knew this was the end. I didn't mind the match. I thought the match was everything it should have been. I I like the Yuta turn at the end because that in the same way that Fletcher turned, seeing Yuta turn on Danielson. I mean, where else is Yuta going to go? He might as well
But
stick with them.
it closes the door on that whole thing but and I didn't tell you this last week when we did the preview show. I had read a story where Danielson had done an interview a couple of weeks ago. It said by the end of the year he's going to have neck surgery again.
Yeah,
And Moxley was his choice. Like that's when this program started back 2 months ago.
yeah,
Moxley was his, like he went to Tony Khan and said, "Look, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and I'm gonna drop the title to Jon Moxley at this show." So this was like they let him go out and do what he wanted to. Now I don't think you're going to see him never wrestle again, but
because
I
I say
think
the
it'll
whole
be
thing
like
they
that.
said after this was that this is the end of his full time schedule, which hints
Yes,
at he's going to come back for some one offs.
you will see him come back and work a summer program, like maybe for All In London, like The Undertaker or
Yeah,
John Cena did for a few years there at WrestleMania, or Triple H did at
yeah,
WrestleMania for a few years, or John Cena, where he comes back for the four big shows every year. There was that time in his career after he first retired from full time action where he hit all four of the big shows. So you're gonna see
yeah,
Danielson do something like that.
yeah,
Maybe come in and put a guy over, work a program with
yeah,
somebody like Will Ospreay and work, put him over, like, you know, maybe for a title or give him a bump for a title run or whatever.
yeah.
But I don't think this is the end of his, like, I don't think this is the last time we'll ever see him in a ring.
No. But we get the start of the Moxley group in charge. Basically, you're going to start to see them as the monster heel faction. Like you said, we're going to see the Bucks eventually swap over. We're going to kind of see everybody divide and choose sides, and I think that's going to be a great thing. I got to say, I'm not a fan of screwdrivers. I'm not a fan of plastic bags. I'm not a fan of hypodermic needles or concrete blocks.
Power bombs on cinder blocks.
I'm just that's not my thing. That's not my kind of wrestling. We don't have that much time to really get into this. Only like a minute left, but wanted to say I thought it was a great pay-per-view overall. The swerve spot as well, where we saw Shelton Benjamin MVP, we saw Prince Nana, we saw MJF come out, we saw Adam Cole. Looks like his ankle's fine because he ran like a madman to the ring to attack MJF. We're finally going to get that program back going.
But the MJF thing was he was the face and Adam Cole was the heel when Adam Cole got
And
hurt,
now,
and now they flopped. Adam Cole's the
yep.
face, and for no reason, and MJF's the heel. I don't understand it.
Well, MJF's the heel because this all started because of Daniel Garcia, that's
Look,
still around.
wrestling fans' memories are about that long. That's all I'll say. It's my final
Yep,
thought.
exactly. But good time for a final thought because we have reached the end of the show. This show will reconvene the week before Thanksgiving, I believe, is the next time they will talk. And until then, we will have many other chats off this show. But I got to point the right way. For my tag team partner, Clay Harden, I am Jeremy York. This has been Fabulous Wrestling Talk, AEW WrestleDream. We will see you guys next time. Deuces, gooses.